Niggas always in they feelings. I ain't got no time, I'm chasing millions. I'm tryna cop that Lambo, drop the ceiling. Do the dash and that bit might blow the engine. Niggas saying on the kid, this shit ain't new to me. Keep sending threats, but what the fuck is they gon'
What's good, YouTube? Once again, your boy PNF Keith, man. The best reactor on YouTube right now. Up and coming, of course. Shout out DJ Ghost, B. Lewis, Zias. They the ones who inspired me the most. But yeah, man, we gonna get right into it, man. We reacting to Lil Durk situation. Again, they got some updates on what's going on with his situation. Hopefully my boy be free soon, man. We gonna jump right into it. Don't forget to subscribe too. I'm watching you. You right there. Hit that subscribe button right now.
The rap artist is behind bars after a shocking arrest as authorities accuse him
My
of
boy
being
Durk
connected
look
to
Mexican.
an alleged murder
He got the
for
little
hire
Mexican
plot.
mustache.
Chicago rapper Durk Banks, better known by his stage name Lil Durk, was arrested yesterday after allegedly attempting to flee the country, and at this time he's being held in a Broward County
know what's
jail
crazy?
in Florida, awaiting transfer to the U.
Why they saying he booked 3 different flights? One to Dubai, one to Italy, and one somewhere else. He was really trying to trick the feds. That's what made me think that it might get bad if he was trying to leave the country. Cause you know, if he had some hope, he'd be like, man, just come on, just grab me, you feel me? I'm gonna surrender, I'm gonna beat the case. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all think he innocent, man? I think my boy innocent.
U.S. Marshals. According to the FBI affidavit, the Grammy Award-winning rapper is charged with conspiracy to commit murder for hire. His arrest comes on the same day as federal prosecutors announced in California the charges of 5 other men for the attempted murder of Georgia rapper Quando Rondo, whose real name is Taquayan Bowman. Prosecutors say those 5 men all have ties to Chicago gangs and all targeted the Georgia rapper in retaliation for the murder of Chicago rapper King Von. According to prosecutors, all 5 men
on his flesh.
Von London Grant, a.k.a. Vonnie, Asa Houston, a.k.a. Boogie, David Brian Lindsay, a.k.a. Brown Eyes, Heath Jones, a.k.a. Fly.
Y'all can't tell me he don't look Mexican. He got the little, look at his little beard. He got the little Mexican gel. L Durk, L Smirk.
And DeAndre
He should have moved to Mexico. He'd have blended right in.
They all face charges including conspiracy to commit murder for hire, committing murder for hire involving death, and use of a machine gun in a violent crime resulting in death. And the most serious charge carries up to the death penalty if convicted. According to prosecutors, all 5 men have ties to Lil Durk's hip-hop group Only the Family, also known as OTF. OTF was founded by Lil Durk more than a decade ago. And according to the FBI, OTF members engage in violence, including murder and assault, at the direction of Lil Durk and to maintain their status in OTF. King Von, whose real name was Devon Bennett, was also a part of OTF and frequently collaborated with and was a longtime friend of Lil Durk. King Von was shot and killed in November of 2020 outside a nightclub in Atlanta.
Bro.
He was killed in the early morning hours of November 6th during an argument.
I don't usually get that tight weight, but when Von died, that shit hit home because he was one of my favorite up-and-coming artists, bro. I used to watch this nigga lives every day, all type shit. So when he passed, I was just like, damn, just like PNB Rock, because I'm from Philly, if y'all don't know. And I actually got a song with PNB Rock unreleased, but you know, I'm a retired rapper now. But no, like, just to see them 2 artists pass away, that's what they hurt the most probably out of all the rapper deaths, because they was like 2 of my favorite artists. Drop your favorite King Von and PNB Rock songs below.
Between 2 groups that escalated into gunfire, and he was fatally shot by Quando's associate Lil Tim after the argument. The indictment doesn't name Devon Bennett, aka King Von. Instead, the charging documents say a high-ranking OTF member described by the initials DB got into a physical altercation with someone referred to as TB, and the circumstances surrounding that incident mirror King Von's murder. The indictment says after DB's death, co-conspirator 1 made clear in coded language that they would pay a bounty or monetary reward to anyone who took part in killing TB for his role in DB's murder. That co-conspirator is allegedly Lil Durk, who authorities say made it known he would pay a bounty to anyone who killed Quando Rondo. According to the court documents, the men used an OTF-associated credit card to buy plane tickets to LA
See, that was
in August
stupid.
of 2022 to search for TB.
They talk about this in their songs. They be like, oh, don't tie my name to this. I'm too smart. I won't do this, da-da-da. and then they end up doing what they say they won't do. If they, I ain't in the streets, but for people who in the streets, I'm sure y'all know by now. Y'all been gang banging for this long, or quote unquote whatever y'all be doing. I don't know what y'all really be doing, but y'all should know how to move and not to put stuff in your name if you're gonna do a crime. I guess it's just stupid, bro. And then they get in these situations, and they first thing be, oh, somebody told them, and somebody did this, even though his homie did tell, but it be situations where they get themselves caught or telling themselves in their songs and be like, well, this person told him, he got me locked up. I gotta be smarter.
Who is allegedly Quando Rondo and using funds provided by Lil Durk. Durk allegedly texted an associate arranging the flight, "Don't book no flights under no names involved with me."
See,
And
that's
prosecutors
stupid.
claim when there, Kevon Grant booked a hotel room for the men to stay at and provided the others with firearms. Grant allegedly procured cars, ski masks, and firearms that were used to find, track, and kill TB. According to the FBI, there is video evidence that Durk was staying at the house in the San Fernando Valley that day.
A lot of the stories that we cover here at Law and Crime are very tough to tell. But part of the reason we're able to keep bringing you these types of stories is because of our great sponsors. So I want to take a moment to thank Upside for sponsoring this story. If you're wondering what's Upside, well, it's a free app that gets you cash back on daily essentials like gas, groceries, and restaurants. Sometimes I only have time for a quick lunch, but then there are times I can have a nice sit down at a restaurant and I can use Upside for both. And I can get cash back when I do. And it's so simple and easy to use, completely free, so why not try it? This is actual real cash back too. It's money that appears in your Upside app that you can transfer straight into your bank account. So here's what you do. You download the
What this
Upside
got to
app,
do with Lil
open it
Durk
up
getting
for
locked up?
whatever you're buying on Upside.
She
You pay
started
as usual
promoting
using
gas.
a debit or a credit card, and
Gas
follow
still
the
high.
steps on the
He rented 2 cars, one of which had a fake license plate for the men to use and follow Rondo and his 24-year-old
Yo, what's
cousin.
going on?
When
Going on?
Rondo
Did I
and his
miss
cousin
something?
stopped for gas, according to prosecutors,
on your first gallon of gas.
according to the indictment, Kevon Grant allegedly rented 2 cars, one of which had a fake license plate for the men to use and follow Rondo and his 24-year-old cousin. But when Rondo and his cousin stopped for gas, according to prosecutors, Asa Houston allegedly drove to a nearby alley before Keith Jones,
It's crazy, 'cause
David
if y'all heard
Brian
that
Lindsay,
Durk's-
and a third unidentified man known in
The Beverly Hills John, he was like, can't pay attention to this car because we got Uber tags. Oop. Y'all ain't listening. And don't be in the comments about some, oh, you helping them solve the case. No, I'm not, because you can't even use lyrics against people anymore.
indictment as co-conspirator 2 carried out the shooting, which was captured on surveillance video. Rondo wasn't injured. However, his cousin passed away after being fatally wounded. According to court documents, the 5 men and co-conspirators used facilities of interstate and foreign commerce, such as planes, cars, cell phones, and the internet, with intent that the murder of TB be committed. After the shooting, according to the indictment, the men went to a nearby burger spot to discuss payment. Then on the same day, the credit card was used to purchase tickets for Keith Jones,
My whole thing with the
Brian
situation,
Lindsay,
though,
Asa
is
Houston, DeAndre Wilson, and
even if his homie told or whatever, they still got to prove that in court that Dirk paid any money, what day he paid the money, how much he paid. And y'all got to have real evidence of him actually paying the money. Or if not, it's his word versus whoever told word. He got a chance of winning. I be seeing people saying it's over for Dirk. Nah. Honestly, it's just getting started. He got a lot of money to have the best lawyers in the world.
co-conspirator 2 to travel back to Chicago. Lil Durk wasn't named in the charging documents against Grant, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston. But according to the indictment, the defendants were offered money and lucrative music opportunities with OTF for the murder of Quando Rondo. Prior to Lil Durk's arrest, the Chicago rapper was being sued by the mother of Chicago drill rapper FBG Duck. FBG Duck was murdered in 2020, and his death led to several convictions in a federal conspiracy trial last January. But his
RPM.
mother sued Lil Durk, OTF, and King Von's estate, alleging they were all involved in the shooting as well. According to the suit, OTF operates as a criminal enterprise.
I seen a video of
After
FBG
Grant,
Duck
Jones,
mom.
Lindsay, Wilson, and Houston
She was saying something about, oh, criminals this, criminal that. They did this to my son. They keep dissing my son, but his son was dissing them as well. They in the street, so they going back and forth. Maybe he did some things too. Allegedly, they saying he did some violent things too. RIP to him, but she was making it seem like he was a saint, and I get that's your son, but just be realistic and speak the truth. Don't just bash them when he was doing the same exact things.
were arrested Thursday. The FBI says Durk booked 2 flights from South Florida airports, one to Dubai and one to Switzerland. He then reportedly
That's
booked
what
a
got
flight
Durk
to
caught up.
Italy, but
Who's
was
his name?
arrested in Miami before he could board that flight. Lil Durk and the other defendants are being held pending their transfer back to LA. I want to bring on now Detective Eric Barnes to break down this case even further. Eric, thank you so much for joining me today. You know, Lil Durk is a really popular rapper. But what's your reaction to his arrest?
I feel like Durk was just in his
connection
prime.
to this murder for hire plot of Georgia rapper Quando Rondo.
Well, you
And
know,
I
it's,
feel like-
it's a very interesting case. I've been following it for some.
It's crazy because they say what you speak, like, you gotta watch and be careful what you say out your mouth because the power of the tongue is crazy. And a lot of his songs, what's the one song, Red Man? He said they asked one would be in 10 years. Should I say the feds? Look, now the feds came and got him. He got a song called Federal Nightmares. The feds came and got him. You gotta watch what you say in these songs, man. You're gonna speak it into existence.
Now, but it's very representative of things that are going on within the hip hop community these days. Of the 1 foot in the studio, 1 foot in the streets.
And talk to me a little bit about retaliation within gang culture, maybe even hip hop culture as well too, that we can even trace back these events in particular, kind of in a way starting from King Von's death in Georgia in 2020, and 2 years later Quando Rondo's attempted murder where his cousin was actually killed during this ambush. What is your kind of reaction to just this whole web and trail that has been going on essentially since 2020, even probably prior to that too?
Well, one of the things that's been popular with hip hop artists is to maintain the same group of friends that they had since they were kids. Maintaining that loyalty, not changing up and becoming a new person because you.
I heard that, but I had to learn
and
that
so
the hard way.
keeping these aligned.
I get all that. Oh, we've been kids. I mean, we've been friends since kids and all that, but you're going to eventually learn that the hard way if you haven't yet in life. The people that you go to school with or grow up with, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be cool with them once you graduate. Half of them going to be dead or in jail. Now, it's just tweets. Either you're going to follow them and be the same as them, or you're going to separate yourself and become a better person. Luckily, I separated myself because I done lost a lot of homies to the streets, jail, everything. And you just got to separate yourself sometimes. Be like, is this life for me or do I want to choose a different route? Luckily, I chose a different route. So if somebody out there watching this video and you hanging around the wrong crowd, please separate yourself right now.
Sometimes there's beef that follows from the streets into rap, and like I said, these guys live, day to day, and their alliances also live that same lifestyle.
And, reading through this indictment, there appears to be this really heavy level of planning to allegedly carry out this murder. Plane tickets were bought, cars were rented, ski masks and firearms were bought. Talk to me a little bit about the sophistication you may have noticed within the planning and these allegations.
Well, one of the things that you have the hurdles, so to say, that you have to get over in this case is just the geographic difficulties going from Chicago to California to commit this offense. And so there's only a couple ways you can get there. Either you can drive or you can fly. Obviously the advantage of flying gives you more of a time advantage. You can get there faster.
And they
But
also
you
was saying
need
that
electronic footprint. And that's what it seems like law enforcement.
they were saying that Durk they were saying that he had used a private jet or something to get them over there to California, and they flew right back to Chicago the same day. That was another thing that was stupid. And that kind of gave y'all. I feel like this case like 50-50 right now.
And was able to pick up on was the electronic footprints that were left from purchasing the tickets. Now when you fly, you also have to have transportation on the ground. So you have rental cars. And if you're there for an extended period of time, that also leads to maybe a hotel stay.
As we talk about this level of planning, it also appears there was also this element of not so great planning if you didn't want to be caught. And some of the 5 defendants actually used their real names,
This dog wants some cops so bad. Look at him.
to book this travel. And then one of the co-conspirators actually texted another co-conspirator saying, "Don't book no flights under no names involved with me." What's your reaction to kind of just
You want to
doing
react to?
this allegedly and using your real name, your real ID, but also kind of wanting to keep this on the down low as well too, of not wanting to get caught?
Well, I think that when I read over that, I was kind of surprised by that, with how unhidden that was. But I think also it plays to the element of what their motivation was, and it seemed that there was some discussion of payment, and so sometimes individuals are so intrigued by being able to get their hands on whatever this payment is that they overlook small details, and leaving your name on a receipt or on a reservation is one of those things that they miss.
When we see kind of these types of cases, a lot of times, I think sometimes the defendants are allegedly always kind of wanting one specific target. Then there are some cases where someone else is hurt or killed, kind of in this focus of retaliation. What are your thoughts, given that Quando Rondo's cousin was
I
actually
feel like this
killed
whole
when
situation,
the
period,
murder was
with the King
allegedly
Von, the
plotted?
Quando Rondo. I said it in my other video. If y'all ain't watched that yet, go check them last 4 videos I dropped. Check them out. And like and comment as well. But I feel like the situation got way bigger than what it should have got to. I feel like them as grown men, they could have talked it out. Even though King Von, he was just a whole different type of person. But I feel like they could have. It wasn't that deep. I feel like nobody had got killed before that. Nothing. It was just words on Twitter. That's why social media is so dangerous nowadays. People will gas your head up. They make you look like you a clown if you don't say something back to somebody who say something about you. Words are words. They can't hurt you as long as nobody put their hands on you. But I feel like it got too far now, to the point Quando cousin died, King Von died, Lil Durk got locked up. It got too far, man.
You know, I think it's always unfortunate that innocent people get caught in the line of fire. It's something that we deal with often within street violence. But I also think within the streets, there's also a mentality when there's a retaliation and gang culture that if you get caught riding with someone that I have beef with, then it just kind of is the rules of the streets. Like, you put yourself in that situation, and now you have to unfortunately reap the
That's that sad
circumstances.
mentality. We gotta get out of
There's
that.
also been rumors circulating online that there might have been an informant or even a snitch within OTF that may have revealed more to the feds. Do you think that's at all possible in this case, that they needed an informant on the inside to kind of give a scoop into kind of how everything was planned out and kind of how everything kind of came to fruition?
Well, I know that there was very detailed information, and it definitely
And
indicates
they're-
that the investigators did a great
the person
job
they saying that snitched.
digging up surveillance footage and being able to uncover some of the intimate details.
The person who they saying snitched, Durk gave this guy $50K, a house, a car, shouted him out multiple songs because he kept saying jam. When Jam got out that jam, I'll give him 50 and got to ask again. He said that in one of the songs. So Durk, I feel like Durk should, he gonna learn a lesson from this, because when you show too many people loyalty, you eventually get crossed. That's why you gotta watch who around you, watch your surroundings at all times, and watch who you being loyal to, man. Because everybody don't got that same loyalty as you. They'll be around for what you could do for them, and not what y'all can do together as a team. So always remember that. Watch who around you, watch your surroundings at all times. Even your closest friends, so you think, oh, I grew up with him, he won't do nothing to me or sneak me. 9 times out of 10, that'd be the main one.
I don't know
Dropping
if
some
they were
jewels on you.
necessarily, but it seems that they do have some very personal details in their indictment.
And given if there was possibly an informant, kind of how do they all play a role into this case? Because again, within the culture, a lot of times there is a no snitching policy. Or what are your thoughts on whether or not there might have been an informant and kind of how that may have all came into this as well too?
Well, you know, the no snitching thing is very huge in the street and within the hip hop culture. But one thing that within the law enforcement community, when someone is looking at a significant sentence, which I think murder for hire either carries in some sort of situations, death penalty, and also life in prison, you know, it's every man for himself at that moment. And so the old cliche of the first one to talk gets the best deal, normally that weighs very heavily in these cases.
Some of the defendants, in addition to being offered money, were also promised lucrative music opportunities if they carried out this murder. And I know we've kind of been having a discussion about, you know, how rap culture kind of bleeds into gang culture. But what's your reaction to kind of this lucrative opportunity given they carry out this bounty?
Well, you know, it's the American dream of wanting to be able to create a better opportunity for yourself and your family. And unfortunately, a lot of individuals have, you know, the dream of making it in the rap business, and you're just not given the opportunity. So that is something that is going to be
The
very
rap game is so tricky because that's where image is super important. Once you get on whatever image you blew up with, you got to stick to that. Most of them Chicago rappers blew up with that drill image. Now they forever got to stick to that drill image to the point where, as though even if they wasn't really drilling before then or really gangsters, they eventually turn into that because that's stuck in their head. And now their mindset is, I'm a driller now. People got to look at me as I'm a gangster 24/7 themselves. So let me just go ahead and stick to this image and crash out. And now you crashing out for fans and people who don't really care about you and gonna forget about you when the next rapper come up.
A lot of individuals because they not only want the
Advice to
be
certain
able to have a
rappers out
rap
there coming
contract,
up.
but also the rap lifestyle. You know, and some people are willing to do whatever it takes to get that.
Sometimes when we see these cases, especially gang cases that are also kind of double as like hip hop cases, you know, YNW Melly, this case with Lil Durk, even YSL, I can't help but notice just how young some of the defendants are and some of the alleged activities
sad,
that they're
though.
being accused of doing.
Cause Melly might not never come home. He been locked up for like 5 years and they got like zero evidence on him. He still might never come home. Free him though if he didn't do it, man.
They're so young, you know, in their 20s, probably started maybe when they were teenagers. But what are your thoughts on just how young some of these defendants are when they're kind of coming up, like you had just mentioned, wanting this American dream, but then at the same time having this kind of tie to the street culture where maybe they don't see the actual consequences of what could happen. Either they go to jail or they may end up dead on the street. What are your thoughts on just
That's the only two
that
outcomes.
whole layer and aspect of it?
Especially when you grow up in the hood.
Well, you know, I think one of the things that weighs heavily on this, the
Plus you
influence,
very
is
different.
the
You don't
fact
get
that,
influenced
you know,
easily.
a guy that you may have grown up with, seen around the neighborhood, now he has this lucrative rap contract and is driving, you know, foreign cars and living in expensive houses and traveling, you know, all across the country. They almost become larger than life. And so when you have a young individual that maybe hasn't had the best role models in life, you know, what they're able to see this individual achieve is going to be larger than any kind of verbal warning that someone can tell them. They're going to take their word as being, you know, good. You know, if I can carry out what is being asked of me, then maybe I can live this lifestyle as well. And I think that that reality weighs heavier than any consequence that you can think of.
And as someone who is a detective who works with street gangs, kind of what are you hearing from the inside that you'd be willing to talk about on camera as far as, you know, maybe just what the motivation is to kind of continue to be a part of this lifestyle?
Well, you know, obviously what everyone is doing right now across social media as well as the streets and within the street culture is they're kind of unpacking this indictment. They're trying to breaking it down line by line, trying to piece things together, figure out if there is an informant, also figuring out if this was
He seemed like he was
something that was carried out on
like he from
behalf
a wreck or
of
something. He
King
got the
Von,
drugs and all.
and just connecting the dots on, you know, their from their levels. But I think that what factors into that is the theory that, you know, nobody plans to get caught. You know, the plan is we're going to do it, we're going to get away with it, and we're looking 100 yards down the field instead of
That be the
what's going
plan,
on
but
right now.
it never goes
And
planned.
the-
They be like, we never gonna get caught. We gonna do this. We gonna do that. And they don't do nothing. They say they gonna do. They go race to the hood and start talking about the exact crime they did, telling 1,000 people to get some cool point. And out of them 1,000 people that you tell, at least 50 of them gonna tell somebody else. Now everybody know what you did. Now you're not discreet no more, and now you eventually going to jail. Plays out the same way every time. Be smarter.
the factor of getting caught, now being named in a federal indictment, that part is not really thought of too heavily because, again, nobody factors in that I am going to get caught for this.
And kind of going back to the Lil Durk aspect of it as well too, you know, he was again a very popular rap artist. He had a lot of popular.
She's saying
songs.
was
A lot
like
of
he
fans
cooked
did
or
look up to
something.
him.
He got a
But
chance to beat it.
Seems though, as we don't know at this particular point, but it seems though a lot of people may be alleging he's kind of the kingpin in a way of the OTF, and that he is the
Kingpin is
someone who
crazy.
carries out these plots, essentially, kind of running a criminal enterprise.
It's
What are
sad
your
though
thoughts on
because
just kind of
when you're the one with
how
all the money, you got
people
1,000
allege-
responsibilities. The whole spotlight is on you, and then you the one feeding everybody. So I low-key feel bad for his family because now that he locked up, and he was taking care of his brother kids, King Von kids, all of them, while taking care of his own kids. So now that he locked up, when you got that spotlight, you hold a lot of weight and responsibility. It's like who gonna take care of everybody now? How they gonna eat? That's gonna force everybody else to eventually crash out, do stuff they don't want to do for money because you was doing feeding everybody. It's crazy, bro.
popular rap artists are these kingpins in a way of criminal
She
street
keeps saying
gangs.
kingpin.
Well, I think with this case, it's gonna be very interesting in how it plays out. But we're gonna really get into the basics of rap being entertainment or rappers really living what they rap about. And I think there's definitely something that's a hurdle that investigators are going to have to get over, with just proving that this Lil Durk's role in OTF wasn't merely entertainment, that he actually had a role within the street culture of OTF.
And do you see any other hurdles that investigators may come to find when they're kind of going through this case?
Well, anytime that you're dealing with multiple people with inside, in an indictment, co-conspirators, what's people's roles kind of change, and then there's money as well involved with some of the people that were discussed in this case. So it's also
always about money,
influenced by the street life and culture, gang life and culture. And so what they have today may change, and hopefully on the investigators' end, what you see in that indictment would only kind of snowball and grow larger. Maybe they're able to develop more evidence and convert some of these co-conspirators into witnesses for the government.
I feel like they barely got any evidence.
Right, Detective Eric Barnes, I appreciate so
He's
much
a
your
detective.
insight
That's why he
into
was in
this
his
case.
bed.
Before we sign you off, is there anything else you'd like to add about just where the case goes?
I wonder why he sounds super locked
No,
up.
I think from what we see in this indictment, that the investigators did a very, very solid job investigating this case, and kudos to them.
All right, Detective Eric Barnes, again, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
According to reports, Jones and Houston have a scheduled hearing in Chicago on Monday. However, Grant, Wilson, and Lindsay have...
Alright, man, that's the end of the video right there. Y'all let me know in the comments how y'all think this case finna go, man. I feel like he got a good chance of winning this, man. I don't know. I feel like they barely got any evidence besides he say, she say, and just conspiracy, honestly. So let's hope it stay that way. Hopefully he get back to his family, man. And, back to dropping music. Because without Durk, who we listening to? Eventually we ain't gonna have no rappers to listen to. Everybody, they all dying and going to jail. But let me know how y'all feel in the comments, man. Drop y'all top 5 favorite Lil Durk songs, man. And don't forget, subscribe, and hit that like button for me. Peace.